Hi guys, so welcome to my YouTube channel, and today we are in the data analysis playlist. And in the data analysis playlist, we are looking at numerical Python, and today we'll be creating numpy arrays from scratch. Now, in the earlier video, we introduced numpy, an interface to store, we introduced arrays, an interface to store and operate on data efficiently. And we looked at how we could do that by importing numpy as np and then creating an array from lists. Now, here we're going to create numpy arrays from scratch. Now, sometimes you will need to create arrays. You need to create arrays. However, you are not going to create them using Python lists. So you use built-in routines in numpy. So here we're going to use built-in routines in numpy. Again, we've imported numpy as np. If you come over here, you can see we imported numpy as np into our namespace. So that means we're now carrying on here. Now, there are several ways we can create arrays. So I'll start off by creating an array that has 5 values and are evenly spaced between 0 and 1. So here, and I'll just write this, I'll document this. So here we are going to create an array of 5 values. That's one. And now these 5 values are going to be evenly spaced. They're going to be evenly spaced between 0 and 1. Now this is what makes numpy really fascinating to work with. So check this out. The first thing I'll do is I'll call np. Right now with np, over here, let me be sure I imported this. Then I come here, if I have np, and then you can see if I use the tab button, I can now see all the methods. And now I'm going to be using lean space. Now, if I basically use the shift and tab button, you can now see the documentation, and it tells you it returns evenly spaced numbers over a specified interval. And remember what we said from scratch, 0 to 1, right? And we are going to have 5 values. So the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to introduce a bracket here. And so from 0 to 1 and this 5. So that's you see that 5 values, 0 to 1 and 5 values evenly spaced. And now if I run this, so you can see 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, that's 5. And it's between 0 and 1. And you can do this. You can do this. I can choose to make this, I can choose to make it 10 here, np dot lean space. And I can say 0 to 1, or that's between 0 and 1, not 0 to 1. So this is between 0 and 1. And I want to have 10 values. And again, you can see that. So this is creating numerical arrays from scratch. And that means you can use numpy to generate different kinds of situations, or different kind of values based on different situations. Let's try another one. Here, let's create a uniformly distributed values. Now you see that. So here we are going to look at a uniformly distributed values. Now we must state that these are pseudo-random values, right? So it must be stated, so it's not like it's real, but it's something. It's a random values, and it can be generated using numpy. So you see that it's random. So here we have pseudo random values, right? And so what do we want to do? And this random values, excuse me, is going to be between 0 and 1. And again, how do we do that? We basically call NP. Now, numpy has a random, this is different. You can see this one is a random number generator, and we can chain it with another random. And look at that, there's a lot of things we can chain it with. And this one, returns random floats in half open intervals. So now we have this, right? So here, and also I did not add that. I want to make it a 3 by 3 array. So I had to add that here. So with this, remember that this says half open intervals from 0 here to 1. So by default, you see that you don't even have to state it like I did for lean space, right? So here, with that, I add another bracket and I say I want it to be 3 by 3, and I cover it. And boom, we have three rows by 3 columns, right? Uniformly distributed. So with numpy, there's a lot of things you can do with numbers. I'm having this temptation. Okay, let me do one more. So here, and put a space here, and here I want to create an array with floating point arrays filled with ones. So here we have floating point arrays, right? So that's what we're going to have, and it's going to be filled with ones. So here it's filled with ones. How do I achieve that? Now to achieve that, I am going to use np.ones. Again, look at that, right? And if I use my shift and tab button, it's going to say it returns a new array of a given shape and type filled with 1. So you see that given shape and type. So that the expectation here is I'm going to have a given shape, right? So here I put my first bracket, which is basically indicates that I have the method. Then inside it, I want to put another bracket, which is going to put in my given shape, right? And so I want a 3 like that. So what I want here is 3 by 5, so which is 3 rows, 5 columns, and it's going to be the floating point arrays filled with 1. So if I do this, look at that, I got that. So typically you want to wonder, okay, so how am I doing this, right? So first thing I'll show you is that I could just do a simple Google search of a numpy documentation. So I'll put this in the description, right? And with this, so you can see this is the numpy documentation. I'll simply go to web, and with this web, you can see that we got, for absolute beginners, you can check this out. A user guide with in-depth information and background information. And we have API references. So we can just click on this, and there are a bunch of API references. You can see different ways to look at, you see array objects, n-dimensional arrays, scalars. And as you keep coming here, you can see array creation routines, right? With this, you can see there are different things we create. You can see ones returns a new array of a given shape filled with ones. See that? There's also zeros. So again, I'm going to put this link in the description so you can check it out, right? So take your time and watch this all over again. And as we proceed, you start to figure out the intuition behind creating arrays from scratch.